So let's take a quick look. So Helson is currently fighting against Dulkadir and the Great Horde, just expanding into Anatolia. Aragon is fighting against Morocco, Talafat and Sus. This is a war that they started last session and are just continuing, so Mean Wolf will be in that one as well. And then Tunis is apparently also beating up on Morocco, so trying to grab a piece of the pie before the Iberians gobble it all up. So one of the Iberian goals is to take the Maghreb. They want to control this territory and convert it to Catholicism. Tunis obviously doesn't want that, so Tunis is going to be trying to resist them in doing so. And I think that's all of the nations that we were just looking at. Oh no, Karakanulu. So what is Karakanulu, or whatever they're called, QQ up to? QQ is taking out Harsa and Baluchistan, so they are going east? No, south. Trying to get into Saudi Arabia. Fair enough. Alright, back to Hamburg, because that is, after all, the big fight right now. So we do have Saxony coming in. We have Hamburg and all of their minions. We have Denmark on just... Oh, nope, they're backing off. The French are still sitting here sieging. They don't seem particularly interested in jumping in any further. I think France's main ambition here is to weaken these guys. Stop Germany being too united against them. I think these armies are trying to angle to attack the Danes, although this province, it's only grasslands, you could do okay there. And Sweden seems to be losing a lot of troops right now. What's happened to their army? It's 10,000, 9 infantry, 1 cavalry. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I just saw their 1,000 man stack and I was like, what are you doing? Scotland's making a comeback regarding... Oh wow, they are as well. And Scotland obviously has jumped out and is playing as a different nation now. They are Sweden. So, game was not over for the Scots. But it is going to be very difficult to hold out against England, France and Denmark all allied together against you. Although those alliances could of course break down. If England starts getting too strong, the other players may get a little concerned and may wish to mitigate that. So we've got Darkfighter joining at the moment. Darkfighter is Muscovy. I think he must have just lost connection, because I'm pretty sure Darkfighter was already here. I'm also very curious to see what these guys do, Denmark, Poland and Sweden now, to stop Muscovy growing too much. Are we going to see any attempts to thwart the forming of Russia, for example? I don't know. I really hope Poland makes that guy regret his early HRE kill. Well, Poland does still have Lithuania, so it is entirely possible that we'll see a Commonwealth appearing. Lithuania has been one of the nations that's been available for someone else to jump in and play. There are, I think, 3 of them. Lithuania, Bavaria, Savoy. Yeah, those nations. I did initially have Norway available as well, but considering Denmark's already lost Sweden this session, I didn't really want them to lose Norway as well. But I really wouldn't mind if there was a Lithuania player. Although I don't want you to... If someone wanted to play, that's cool. But because of the goals, it would have to be from next session, which then gives players a chance to do a bit of diplomacy and work out deals corresponding to the territory they own. So Savoy, Bavaria, Lithuania, those are the 3 available at the moment. If anyone wishes to join us, then please do join up our Discord. If someone could link the Discord, that would be very, very helpful. And send me a PM saying, I'm interested and I want to play as... one of those. Or if there is any other nation in the environs of Europe and the Middle East that you would be interested in taking over, like the Great Horde or something like that, then we can talk. I'd be open to such things. I'm just not that interested in, say, having an Ulm player, a tiny OPM. The only reason I allowed it for Hamburg is because they had big aspirations for the Hanseatic League, and I liked that idea. The choice was really Lübeck or Hamburg. You could do either. I think both of them stand a good chance. Hey, Tuna. So just waiting for Muscovy to rejoin. And there we go. And then let's go back to normal. And watch this war. Are they trying to retake any of the territories? No, their armies are heading south to go and deal with the French. Ooh. Massing outside of this. They need to go in now. And they are. But again, Poor communication. I think Saxony's going to come in too late, although they are hitting with 30,000 straight away. 3.8 morale against the 4. Dithmarschen leading the charge once again. Dithmarschen's armies are really, really strong. Saxony coming in at the last minute there. 35,000 against 30,000, but France just has the quality to force them back. Although France is definitely taking a lot of casualties here, but I think the Allies are taking more. This is actually going to be closer than I had kind of expected. Dithmarschen and... who's this? Red. Who's Red? Red's probably Hamburg. Holding the line until the last, but no. Not enough. Just not enough. And it looks like that France will now take Cologne. Splitting their forces up, but they have, again, dealt 50,000 in damage. And I wonder if there are any other hungry nations watching this conflict. Because France has a lot of enemies. If France takes too many casualties here, then I think we're going to see the sharks circling it's not an island. The territory, the land, the sticky outy bit of Europe. Particularly these guys, who we know to be hostile to the French because they did join in against France when Burgundy was fighting them. But then again, they are probably busy with Morocco at the moment, so they may not be able to take the opportunity should it arise. East Frisia being sent miles away. Is that a free Sardinia? That is indeed a free Sardinia. Having been released from Aragon, or maybe rebels, because Aragon does seem to be having a few rebel problems. Aragon is here, 48 is playing. I wonder if he's just not noticed. Is Naples independent? Naples is in a coalition against Florence. Oops. And yes, Naples is indeed independent because we do have a Neapolitan player, do we not? Pretty sure we do. They must just not be here today. So, what is happening with this coalition, Florence? Ooh. Hungary, Bavaria, Naples, the Papal States, and Mantua. Do not forget Mantua. All a little bit irate with Florence, although none of them are actually above 50 right now, except for the Pope and Naples. So this could be sparked by the Italians and Bosnia. But considering it hasn't fired yet, I suspect Florence might be okay. Somewhat depends on whether the Papal States want to see the downfall or not, because they could spark it. Hungary, obviously not here, so we don't have a Hungary player. They are not protected, so they cannot really do anything about that. I do find it very interesting that he's just letting his territories drift. I wonder if he's doing this on purpose. Saying, okay, I'm going to let Italy go. Italy is too busy because we do have a Naples player, a Papal States player, a Florence player, a Venice player, and a Genoa player. And I was very tempted to allow a Milan player, but then I was thinking, you are really hemmed in, and that would be kind of a boring game. Probably. Even though I really, really do rate Milan, I think they're a fantastic nation to play as. What sort of rebellion is it? Sicilian separatists? Oh, Naples got Malta. So Malta is one of those provinces which is wanted by a lot of countries. I think that Naples wants it, Britain wants it, Aragon wants it, Venice might? I don't remember if Venice does. Let me just double check. What does Venice want to do? Unfortunately, I've got my old list of goals, the ones that I printed last week, which have changed really quite dramatically, because my printer stopped working. It won't print yellow or red, and there's a lot of yellow or red. Yes, kill Klemf. Who's Klemf? Klemf is Cologne. Cologne has been removed from the war. Peaced out. I don't know what the deal was, though. And it looks like Trier is being attacked now by the French. So the French really are just trying to do as much damage to the Germanics as possible. And then I think the ultimate goal is the eradication of Hamburg. The Ottomans still going after Dulkadir. And Trier being sent packing. This is going to be a stack wipe. Although someone's been exiled. Is that France that's been exiled? No, it's Trier just pieced out. Too late? Did they lose their armies? No, they saved their armies. So now it is Hamburg, standing alone, together with Dithmarschen. Is Dithmarschen an ally or a vassal? It was a march. That's a really good march to have, actually. Dithmarschen is strong. And there we go. We have lost Blue Kiwi. And we are going to go and have a word with Blue Kiwi right now, because we've actually had some plans. Hello.
That didn't go so well.
It didn't. So do you want to do Operation you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, go ahead and hot join, and then you can join, and then I will explain what is happening to everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'll also post up your goals.
He brought in France, which wrecked it for us.
Yes, bringing France in, I was like, you could have done this, and then the French appeared, I was like, you can't do this.
And Brandenburg was going to join at some point. He allied Denmark as well.
Oh. But he pieced you out already, didn't he? So he would have had a truce.
Yes. He had a truce.
Okay, let's add in this new nation. I'm just leaving it paused for a moment until you can hot join in.
Yeah.
Because we did discuss this, we had preparations already in place.
Yeah, I knew this was a very real possibility.
Yeah, I think both of us did. Let's move that down.
Right.
Let's delete those. Alright, so those of you watching on Twitch, if you go to the goals page, you will be able to see what is happening here, because we actually have ideas planned for a nation that was not, until now, playable. And no, it's not me. And you, Blue Kiwi, will be able to see what those goals are.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time you'll have seen them.
Yeah, that's true.
I can just see the number of people watching this spreadsheet just blow up in numbers. Okay, and then your secret goal, which I will PM you now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There we go, sent.
Thank you.
So what diplomatic shenanigans did you have going on in the background? Like, how did you get Cologne and Trier to join?
So that was a matter of them being very worried about great powers outside of Germany encroaching, and so they were keen to form a defensive alliance.
And that is very good, because that's precisely what I was hoping when I created those goals, because their goal is to keep non-Germans outside of Germany.
Exactly. France threw a massive spanner in the works there.
Yes, and I'm
Though
sure
we
that
did cause Denmark quite a bit of pain there.
you caused them both quite a lot of pain. Like, you killed, combined between Denmark and France, 50,000 casualties, I think.
Oh, those battles were very close.
Yes, they were. You got a little unlucky in a couple of those instances.
It was close.
Alright, good luck.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's reactions to this. So yes, Blue Kiwi has joined in as the Knights. The reason I paused there is because I didn't want the Ottomans declaring war on them before they had a chance to actually join in. So we do have a Knights player now. I did have a rule, I was not going to allow people to play as OPMs, but the Knights, in kind of the same way as Hamburg, are just one of those really fascinating tiny countries that can punch well above their weight. And I think that I've given the Knights a good set of interesting goals, so I'm very curious to see what he can do with that. I don't know if he's done any diplomacy with any other players as kind of a stopgap, but I do know that he has a couple of natural allies around who may want to see him survive. So I'm really curious. Venice immediately jumping in alliance. He's got one with Albania. He's in the trade league with Venice. So Venice has already said that he wants to protect the Knights. I'm really excited about this, actually. The Knights are, like, my favourite nation in the game. I know I say Milan is, like, in terms of ideas, Milan is, but in terms of, like, just the way they play, the Knights are so much fun. Because they are up against it. They are off the coast of the Ottomans, and the Ottomans want them dead. It's a Catholic nation right next door. But you can do so much damage as the Knights, because you're able to raid non-Catholics. And you are a real thorn in the Ottoman side, and as long as you can get some big friends to basically stop the Ottomans from just declaring on you and attacking, they're really interesting. The Knights are interesting in multiplayer because you can get help you wouldn't normally be able to get in single player. Yeah, exactly, they're one of those very diplomatic nations. Kind of similar to Hamburg and other trading powers, because you can say, money is really valuable in wars, and I can provide you with this. Why aren't I playing? Because I'm commentating. I can see everything, I can give you a big overview. And also, one thing that we've noticed during my multiplayer games is I don't tend to interact with chat very much. It's difficult to do. So instead I'm observing, I'm commentating, I'm telling you guys what's happening, making the rules, and we can talk about what the other players are doing. Like that question right there. Wouldn't have been able to respond. I would have been too busy trying not to die. Oh, someone just crashed. Aretos, Venice. And I should probably mention to the players that the Knights actually have some goals. Okay, we're good. So Venice has just crashed, but he should be able to hot join back in. That's one of the really nice things about hot join, actually. People can come and go without really affecting the stability of the game too much. So right now everyone, or all the players at least, are at peace. There are a couple of wars going on, but none against other players. So we have... In fact, if we just click on you, we can see more easily what you're doing. So you're still fighting against Morocco. This war is taking a while, and you are taking quite a lot of attrition in the process. Morocco being sent packing, so I think they're just trying to grab as much territory as they possibly can, probably dividing it equally between the three. Bearing in mind that Castile's not actually here. Who's the war leader? Oh, Castile's on Tunis's side. So this is just Portugal and Aragon. Oh, now that's interesting. Huh. Okay. Just thinking if that was actually a legal move, because if Castile's not here, they're a protected nation, then if they were called into an offensive war, it depends whether this war was already ongoing. It might have been. I'm not sure. Anyway, we have Karakanulu still fighting against Hausa down here in the south. Let's take a look at them real quick. In fact, we haven't really spent much time at all looking at Karakanulu. They're not a nation that very many people play as, I suspect, and they have actually a really good and interesting set of ideas. So they start out with cavalry combat ability plus 20%. Is that Florence invading Sardinia? Probably. Let's just go and take a quick look at that. They are indeed invading Sardinia. Florence is just trying to gobble up as much territory as they possibly can. So, Akanulu. They have got plus 10% morale of armies and plus 20% cavalry combat ability from the start of the game. That's bonkers. Usually you get one or the other, and certainly not two this strong. 10% and 20%? That's a lot. Bearing in mind that Poland gets a 33, and this is a 20 from the start. I would say that this is a really strong beginning. They then get land leader shock plus 1, cavalry cost minus 20% to go very nicely with the cavalry combat ability. Yearly tribal allegiance. Oh, do you start as a tribe? You must do. Tribal federation, you do indeed. I have never played as a tribe. No idea what's involved. Now I can't click on them, so we can't talk about what they're doing. So yes, it did look like Florence is going after Sardinia. Florence is trying to gobble up territory. What are Florence's goals again? Florence, have a province with 100 development. We should probably take a look to see where they're trying to do that, if they've even started. Become a great power, have 20 universities, have a higher income than Venice and Genoa. And then finally, Austria must not have any ports on the Adriatic. They currently have one, so they want to make sure that Austria loses that Adriatic port. Tribes are new. No, tribes have been there for a long time. I've just never played as one. They just didn't appeal to me.